Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Sandy Merritt. I am with ActionCOACH Bluegrass. If you're not familiar with ActionCOACH, we do business coaching, and we help businesses to grow and be successful and achieve what the owner wants to achieve, allowing the owner to work on the business, not in the business. So we all know how to do what we do today, but we don't know how to do it necessarily at double the size. So we do webinars like this to help business owners to get that growth and to kind of weed through the noise. You know, if I Google SEO or what I need to do for marketing, I'm going to be so overwhelmed with information, it's almost paralyzing. So that's the purpose of our webinar today, is to give you information that you can use. And I am so thrilled to be joined by Brittany Murphy from One Thing Marketing and have her expertise along today. So Brittany, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, I am Brittany Murphy. I am the marketing director for One Thing Marketing. And if you're not sure what we do, we're focused on everything digital marketing for a local client here that's trying to grow their business. So really maintaining everything on digital marketing side for them. So like Sandy said before, they can work on their business versus in the business, kind of on the marketing weeds of it. We can really help sort through what they're trying to accomplish and help them get a game plan going afterwards. So Sandy and I do have some offers at the end of this as far as what we do as well. I'd love to make sure you all can, if you can't get the whole time, we will send out a recording of this. I'd love you all to take up of those. We do offer some great things at the end. My last ask is, if you're not muted, if you could, just so that way we can make sure everyone can hear everything clearly. And we're going to have some time at the end for questions. So if you do have any, please do type them in the chat box while we're on here, just so that way, if you don't forget, we can kind of go back and look through the chat feed as well.
Thanks, Brittany. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump in. I don't have to tell any of you that this has just been a tough year in a lot of ways. I hope that all of you and your families have been able to remain healthy and that your businesses have been able to remain healthy. But going into fourth quarter, it's time to fight back. We're going to cover several topics today. One of the first ones is why you do marketing. We all hear about it, but why do I need to do it? And why you need to be doing it right now. Because this is such an unusual time, how do you modify your message to really reach people and make sure that your message is appropriate for everything that's going on in our world and in our community? So adjusting your message to the time of year and to the circumstances is really important. Also, we're going to talk about what kind of marketing should you be focusing on going into the end of the year. There are different approaches, so what's going to be the best for you? And hopefully that's going to give you some ideas for your marketing plan and what strategies you need to have going into fourth quarter, because it starts in 2 days. So it's time to be ready. So the first question is, what is marketing for? Why do we do marketing? It's pretty simple. We're buying customers. We think that we buy products, but as the business owner, you have to buy your customers. And you need to set a budget. How much am I going to spend per customer to get business in the door? So an example I heard this morning, if you do a direct mailing and it costs you $1, and let's say you send out 10,000 of those, that's $10,000. If that gives you 4 clients who are each going to spend $5,000, is that $10,000 worth the investment? Well, you made $10,000 on it. So being mindful of what you spend and who you're reaching is important. You're going to need to reach a lot of people in order to get customers. But the fact of the matter is, hanging up a sign, putting up a Facebook page doesn't necessarily bring people into your business. So marketing is telling people where you are, who you are, and what you have to offer. And the fact of the matter is, it costs money. A lot of times I hear, oh, I'm just starting out, I don't have money for marketing. My response is, then close your doors now. part of what we want to do today is help you choose how to spend that money wisely. But marketing is not an option if you want customers. So thankfully, we're out of the spring where everything was just shut down. We're starting to open up again. We're starting to open doors to businesses, but more importantly, we are starting to open our wallets to more than Amazon and Kroger ClickList. Now is the time for you to be reaching out to your customers and your potential customers. That being said, you still need to be sensitive, particularly those of you who are in Louisville, Kentucky. It's a tense time right now. There's a lot of social things going on that you should be mindful of. And there are a lot of people struggling. So I don't know that I would be out promoting Rolex watches right now, but if there are services that people need, if there are products that people need, absolutely, you should be promoting them. But you can do that in a way that is empathetic and kind. You can also take this time to really be educating consumers. Now, I know that this is a difficult time, but if you are thinking of this in the next upcoming months, here's some things you should consider. So it's going to be a little more of a soft sell approach than an in-your-face buy now. Always with your marketing, you want to make sure that you're adding value. Right now, you have to convince me to leave my home and spend money with you. There's got to be something in it for me. So our reality has shifted. And so your message needs to shift. If you think back to February and how we were doing business, times have changed. Your products or services may have also needed to change. And that's all okay, but you have to communicate that to your customers. So if you have added a service or if you have dropped a product line, make sure your customers know. Make sure they all know, what do you offer? What are your hours? How do they buy from you? Is there a curbside delivery? Will you bring things to their home? Do they have to come into your store? What are the options there? Make sure people know that, particularly if you have changed your hours. It needs to be on your website, your Facebook page, your Instagram. People need to be able to find that information. The other thing that I would recommend right now is focus on people rather than products or services. Let people know how you can help them. If you pay attention, you'll notice that a lot of the advertising that you see on TV right now, they're not pushing products as much as focusing on like the Amazon commercial where they're interviewing the people that work there, or other people who are thanking heroes and essential workers. Promoting people makes your customer care about you. And it might be that you're focusing on a customer. You know, we're so happy to see Brittany back at our restaurant. She's been a loyal customer. Thanks so much. That kind of thing is a timely message right now. So put the focus more on people as opposed to what you're selling. And the biggest thing that I just can't stress enough, be positive. It's tough. It's been a bad year. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with me on that. But you have a choice. Your message can be positive or you can bring people down. So in your marketing message, maybe say what you're grateful for. We're grateful for our employees, for our customers, for our suppliers. Don't push the panic button. That is not going to help. Yes, our city is going through some troubled times, but this is not the fall of the Roman Empire. We are not in the middle of Armageddon here. It's tough, but it's okay. So leave your anger and frustrations out of your message. You want to encourage people to wash their hands, that's great. But you don't have to focus on or you will contract COVID-19. Focus on what you can offer and how people can do business with you. Again, if you've had to shift your message, shift your products or services, this is the time to let people know all the wonderful things you can do for them. So, get into the nitty-gritty. I'm going to flip this over to Brittany.
Everybody, so now that we kind of know as far as when we're doing all of our marketing, what type of message we need to be saying, I'm really going to kind of help break down this eagle eye bird view of where we should be spending more marketing money, some different ways to kind of go about it, and basically what I want everybody to be able to do from this, pick the ones that work best for your industry. These are going to be a little bit overviewing, so they're going to work for most. But again, these are all those ideas that they can be made more unique and even more beneficial if you spend some time and make it customized to your business. So I'm going to kind of go through all these right now. And again, if anybody has any questions, please throw them in the chat box. We are going to save the last few minutes for any and all questions that might be on your all's minds. And these can be a little more custom to what you're doing as well. I'm happy, and Cindy IRL, to kind of help answer some questions before we're off here today. So the question you all came now in the second half is, should I really spend more money on marketing? Brittany, that's weird. 2020 has been a POS. Why should I throw more money in it? Well, I actually have a really fun graph for you all. So anybody who's a data nerd, you might enjoy this a little bit. So this is actually a graph that was taken from the recession of 2008. And what you're going to see here is there's the difference between companies who spent money during recessions and those who did not. So the fun part of what you know about this is the place to be competitive right now. The biggest thing a lot of these companies did that were hugely successful in 2008 was the first thing they did was drop the unnecessary expenses. Now, I'm not going to tell you what those are. That's for you to determine on your own. But the biggest thing from here is they dropped those unnecessary expenses and they invested that money into marketing to pull away from their competitors. So if you can see here, this trajectory of after the recession ended and kind of moving forward, they had such a catapult from doing this versus their competitors who just basically stopped all expenses, and that was including marketing. So the biggest thing you're going to learn today from a business coach and a marketing person is, yes, you need us during the down times, the bad times, and especially the good, because what we help do is guide you on things you should be doing with your time, money, and your mental health, okay? Because we're all kind of stretched a little too thin right now. So this is just kind of a fun thing of, you know, what happened previously and the effects of it. So this is a really good graph for anybody who's kind of debated on the fence about it. Here's some proof that companies that did spend money on marketing had a lot more success with it after the turn of coming out of the recession. So the end is near. I promise you, one day 2020 will be a chapter in the history books and we'll no longer be living in every day. So the second question, all right, Brittany, I guess I'll spend some money. What should I spend my time focusing on right now? I'm glad you asked. So there's a lot of few things that I kind of want to encompass. I would like to talk about some short-term solutions because everybody, just like me, I'm impatient. I need some quick wins, and also some long-term solutions because at the end of the day, we know that this is going to pass. So we need to plan for now and for the future. So therefore, when we are coming out of this, you're actually coming out stronger versus having to pick up pieces from when you didn't kind of have that time during the recession to make sure you could catapult yourself like the rest of the industry. So some short-term things I'm going to talk about today are your offerings, your website, and your social presence, all things that you can completely change immediately. There's no pause. It's only you holding yourself back from getting these things done right now. And also some long-term solutions. So this is going to be things like your online reputation, your reviews on Google, your online presence, so actually being found on the internet when people are looking for you. And the last is how to build repeat clients. We all have different clientele out there, so there's a lot of different ways to do it, but we all know that that person who's already bought from us is the easiest way to kind of get that return product and cheapest client as well on that return with it. So we're going to go ahead and kind of get started on those. So we've all heard of your unique value proposition. What is your unique selling proposition? Well, the biggest thing on this is what makes you different? What are you offering to actually help your customers? And I'm going to say that actually help them. Not something you think's great, but what do they think's great? What do they want to see come out of this? Because at the end of the day, just like Cindy said, we need to focus on their concerns. That's kind of the biggest thing at the end of the day. So what are they concerned about? And what can your product or service fix for them in that nature? Again, you have to be unique. So a great example I can give you is a metal roofing client we work with out of town. They found that they basically could put a lifetime warranty forever on their roofs. And so their unique selling proposition is, this is the last roof you will ever buy. And that's actually what helps a lot of people convert to buying with them, is that worry of, I don't want to have to go through replacing this again. I just got into my forever home. What can I do? There's a lot of people who want to fix up and stay in their homes that they have and have the best of both worlds as far as what they can afford and what they get value out of it. So those are all kind of good things. What do? And as you can kind of see on this graph at the right, you have to worry about what they care about, what you do well, and what your competition does well. So there has to be something that can differentiate you from your competition. Once you find that, you need to harp on it immediately. So just like our metal roofer, no one else offers that in his area. So he is closing more clients with him than with other companies because he offers something that they don't. So really think about this, because this offer is going to lead in, just like your messaging, to a lot of other marketing things we're about to kind of get into and do. And one thing I do like to tell everybody is, if you find out what makes you different, what makes you the best, and what you really want to offer all your clients, if you don't match that anymore within the business, this is the time to change. I think that's kind of the fun part about this is the whole 2020 vision. Have a vision for your business. If it doesn't match, now's your time to change it. No one's going to make fun of you. People probably won't notice it's a huge change, but new clients will be able to understand what you do better, and they'll feel that they're being spoken to. That's what sells everybody. So I always make a joke. I love tacos. So there's not much marketing taco companies have to do to buy my love, but those who actually do things differently are what sells me. They make me feel appreciated. So just like the messaging that Sandy said, they're thankful that I came in and I'm purchasing from them during this time. And they basically create like referral offers, and they have like BOGO events, things like that keep me coming. So we'll go a little bit more of that in the build repeat clients. But again, what's an offer you can do that your competitors aren't? And a good tip I'm going to tell you all is type down your industry into Google. So if you are a CPA, type CPA companies, Louisville KY. If you sell insurance, then type that in. Whatever you do, type it into Google and see whose websites pop up. Open up the first 5, 10, open up anybody who opens on the first page, see what they all say, write them all down, and I bet you $5, they all say the same thing. So what can you say that's breaking the industry mold that they're already doing there? This is the best way to kind of think of an offer. You can see what your competition's offering, you can improve on it, or you can make something completely different that's actually addressing the need of your clients, just like my hungry stomach needs those tacos, okay? All right, so moving forward, the second thing that you can do immediately, update your website. So the first one is, I know we all at this point, hopefully all of us have mobile-friendly websites. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to your phone. If you type in your website and you're zooming in and squinting and making that face to have to see it, you do not have a mobile-friendly website, my friend. We need to get that updated. The second side of that is, how quick does your website load? Now, this kind of goes into more of the digital marketing with search engine optimization, but really site speed is a conversion marketing area we all need to focus on. So if you're on your website and it takes a while to load, that is really, really hurting you in the long run. So kind of a big thing is open up your website along with your competitors and see how it sticks out as far as, is it quick, is it friendly, or is it not compared to theirs? The one thing I hate when I see anybody's website is they make it very hard to know what all of their services are or even what they offer. So my biggest thing on any website that you're working with, list every service clearly. Not all of us have the simplest of industries, so make it very to the point and clear about what you do. The biggest thing as well is if you can actually create these pages, then those people can go to that page and read more about your service. So when they call or submit a contact form, they're actually understanding what you do and already qualifying themselves by the time they call you, because they understand enough about your industry and what makes you different because of your offer that they want to talk to you specifically. So when they're on your website, stop making it hard for them to find anything, please. We all know we're all distracted. We all have very low patience and a little bit lazy. So just think about it. Your clients are the same way. Make it easy for them to find everything about you. So for instance, your phone number should be at the very top of your homepage and a call to action should be there as well. The biggest things is making sure they can get in contact with you at the end of the day. So even on your contact page, make sure you have a form on there. I'll be honest, As a homeowner of 5 years, there are many things that break, and I tend to look up solutions for them around 1 a.m. when I can't sleep. So therefore, if I have a plumbing issue, I'm gonna look up plumbers probably at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. when I'm like, what should I do? And I'm gonna submit contact forms to these businesses. So there are your clients who make decisions not during the 9 to 5 business hours. So make sure you have a contact page with it. Pro tip, if you have an offer or something that is a specialized quote or estimate type of service that you offer, create a separate form just for that. So for instance, my plumber I'm looking for, I could go to their regular contact page, or if they actually have a form that's schedule with us, I could go ahead and get further through the sales process just on myself. So as a business owner, we can be sleeping calmly and happily at 2 a.m. and all of a sudden, ding, there's a client asking to talk to us, okay? So be there, be present, make this super, super easy for them. The biggest thing I want to mention, that offer we just talked about, please utilize it throughout the site as much as possible, because that can actually be a lead funnel for you. So that can be its own contact form with that offer of, apply here and you can, redeem this offer for your business. If you don't have things like that, you can also think of like, do you have an ebook? Do you have some type of digital form of media that you can offer on your website to make people sign up? They contacted you, you have their contact information, and they're interested enough in you where you can reach back out to them from your offer and see how it worked out. Did this piece help you? Hey, there are other questions you have about what you read. Those are easy ways to kind of get people in through the door there. So, as I said, everything you do marketing-wise is going to drive people back to your website. So make sure when they're on your website, you are trying to get as many people to actually end up calling you or leaving a contact form at the end of this. So one of the things I do see a lot is it's called a bounce rate. And so what that means is someone lands on your website and then immediately, without seeing any other pages, pushes the back button. And they go straight back to the search pages or wherever they were previously. So the reason I see this happening a lot is because when people land on the first half of your website, they don't know what you do still. And they don't think they typed in the right thing. So they're going, pushing the back button and finding your competitor's website who easily states what they do very clearly. I bet $5 that your competitor has an offer as well. And that's kind of what solidified this person talking to them versus talking to you. They made it super easy and they helped clarify any questions this person has. So make sure immediately when they land on your page, you're telling them what you do for them. So we like to kind of call this your you statement. What are you doing for them? Not what you do, but what you can do for that person that's different than what your competitors can't offer right now. The other biggest thing is, now that we live in basically a virtual society, we used to do this in person, now it's all via Zoom. The biggest thing is all of these reviews you see online are the new word of mouth. We don't see as many people in person to kind of ask how people are seeing about this. We're not really in stores as much to ask people what their experience is with different products as well. So adding different reviews and testimonials throughout the entire website is a huge conversion factor. So obviously you want some on your homepage. You kind of might want your shining ones there. Talk about the biggest things that you did to fix something for someone. So if you have a review and the person is telling exactly what they were before and tells the story of by using you where they are now, is perfect. The other fun thing is as well is if you have a review that's just about one of your different products or services, then put it on that page that we just talked about for that individual service, because that gives you accreditation to what you do. As I said, if reviews are the word of mouth, then you need to give yourself as many opportunities to get some good people talking online about you, so therefore you can really build your authority on what you do and how you can help people online as well. The other thing, add call to actions. So you might have heard CTAs a lot before, but every single page on your website needs to have one. I'm not saying that people are dumb, but we're all just lazy. So tell me what to do. If I'm online about to order some tacos, where's the button that says order tacos? Don't hide this from me. Please, please, please make it easy. So just like that offer you thought of, that could be an easy call to action button on your website. So if you offer a free consultation, then make that call to action button, schedule your free consultation, or click here to learn more about a free consultation. Do all these things to get them through the sales process. So just like when we used to talk to people face to face, you had a dialogue to get to the end means of where you're trying to get. The call to actions on your website can do that for you as well. And one more time, please, 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 break down every service you offer as a separate page on your website. I will love you tremendously if you can do this, please. We'll talk about it in just a sec, but having all these things separate is a great way to set up the rest of your marketing and talk about all the different things you can offer and maybe a unique offering for each of them if that exists. So another quick short-term thing is everybody is still on social media. I know we're all kind of getting back into the groove of things from when we were in the massive amount of basically locked at homeness we were in a few months ago. Social media grew tremendously. Even LinkedIn surpassed its trajectory of how many people were creating profiles. So it's not just being on Facebook, but it is even the professional social media profiles are getting a lot of traction there because that's where everybody's getting on, because that's the only way we can kind of talk to each other. We're not allowed to door knock or kind of, just pop into a business. So the biggest things here is maybe there's some people on here right now who don't have a website. Please use the things that I just talked about. But while you're building your website, you can use social media to bump up how many people are kind of getting to know about you right now. The biggest thing you can do is excite your audience. So you can target them with ads, but you can really target people who have already bought from you, who are currently liking you, and you can also find people who are just like them and market to those prospects as well via ads. Just like Sandy said earlier, keep your message positive. So kind of one thing we talked about is there are some mean people out there and they could be vengeful. So the biggest thing that we try to do is you have to kind of be a little bit, in a sense, neutral and positive. And the reason I say this is because you're going to upset one person one way or the other. That is now sadly the environment we live in, is it's very easy to offend someone online. So being positive is a huge portion of that, but make sure what you say is always in a good light for the business, because this isn't your personal page. This is your business representation. So even if you're just a one-person band and you know that this is my personal brand, this is what I believe in, it might not always make sense for your company profile to have that, because it could come in the butt to bite you later. Anything you say without fully thinking it to yourself out loud, running it past somebody, save it for your personal page. Keep your business as much as possible, because people are looking for that type of guidance and help from you versus potentially your thoughts on things. So just kind of some food for thought there. Obviously, everybody has their own opinions, but that's just kind of what I've seen to keep people safe right now, just because there are a lot of people that have been cooped up and are ready to take it out on social media. So another thing, be consistent. I know this is a very, very basic thing, but what I would rather anybody do on here is, if you can't be consistent across all platforms, pick one. So if you know that a majority of your clients might be on Facebook, then pick Facebook and stay on Facebook. Be consistent, add all of your things there. If it's LinkedIn because you're more B2B, then pump up that LinkedIn profile, spend your time there, maybe purchase Sales Navigator so you can connect with people easier online there as well. But pick one you can put all of your time and resources into, because that's where you'll see the most growth. If you spread yourself too thin, you won't make it as far. So really make sure to kind of hone in on where is going to be the biggest benefits for you. And kind of some fun ideas. So if you're thinking of what can I do, just be different from your competitors. If they have bad reviews, then make sure that all of your different reviews you're getting, take a screenshot of them. If they're on your phone, if it's a text from a client saying, you just made this the simplest process ever, I couldn't have done this without you, take a screenshot, ask if you can post this on your social media and share it. You can even tag them in this and they might be willing to share it as well, which promote you more as their personal pages promoting your things. If you live in a boring industry and you think that your content is not fun at all, I'll be honest, I don't think websites are that fun every day to talk about. So what can I do to make my business more interesting? Videos. So just like this today, this is a webinar that we could make little clips from. We could have little screenshots and kind of help, different marketing channels of it. But even if it was just a quick little live video of right when you're in the office and maybe you all had a birthday celebration, anything like that that's just kind of fun, make a quick video. They're getting so popular right now. You just want to start now on them, okay? Just like reviews, all these things, you want to start building your stockpile of all these things right now as much as possible. The thing is, create some loyalty programs. As I said, tacos are my weak point, okay? So if there's a little card that every time I bring it, I get a whole punch out for a new taco after 10, I'm coming back to get my 10th free taco, okay? I'm not gonna be that hard of a sell. So think of things like that. You might have an industry where maybe they only purchase once in their lifetime. So like my metal roofer, maybe there's not something that you can come back, repeat after repeat for. So make a referral program. Make it offer where if they tell their neighbor and their neighbor calls you and mentions them, then they get $200 gift card. You know, they can get whatever you think as a thank you to basically having your clients promoting your business for you outside of this. So I know kind of us are all in some networking groups as well. And a few of those networking groups are all built on the concept of giver's gain. So I'm trying to help you out. So it ultimately helps the both of us. And referral programs can work the same way. You're helping them by thanking them with gifts, money, whatever you'd like to choose to do, recognition. And they're also helping you out by kind of giving you some more clients to talk to as well. And the biggest thing I like to say, so even for our own company at One Thing Marketing, our post about what we do, they get some engagement. That's a really cool stat. We do see some engagement there. But what we see the most day in and day out is when we showcase our team. And so kind of as Sandy mentioned, it's all needs to be more personal and human right now. So the more you kind of talk about your team, what they do, you know, a little bit about them, it's really fun. And it gives the employees a little acknowledgement as well, because in the day, we also want to be known and thanked and just acknowledged for the kind of stuff that we do. So there is all things that they help your social media, but they really kind of help some client or some employee morale. So that's kind of what you can twofer on that one in a sense. Okay, so that's everything short. Brittany, can I stop there? No, I'm sorry, you can't. I want you all to set up for success. Just like Sandy said, that there's all things we can do right now, but if you do all these things and you're doubling the business next year, you're going to be happy. I don't think Sandy or I could say that you're not going to be ecstatic if in 2021 you're like, well, I did all these things and now I don't know what to do with all this money. We're happy to help. We'll put it that way. So kind of what's the long-term game plan? The first one I want to mention, because as I said, I want you to start it today, is building your online reputation. As I said, this is the new word of mouth. This is what everybody is looking for to make sure that they're happy with what you do. So as an example, here's my Google business listing for my company. So as you can see, we have 42 reviews and a 4.8. So what I'd love is that we're not a full 5 anymore. And you know why I love that? Because we got a 1-star and we were allowed to address a concern of someone who wasn't a client, but they stopped by our office before we finished renovating it. And we, you know, thanked them for stopping by because we had just changed our address. But it allows an opportunity to talk to that person and clear up the air. And really at the end of the day is people are going to be more concerned about how they're addressed if things go wrong than right. My last name's Murphy. Bad things always happen. I'm just used to it. It's okay now. Don't feel bad. But what I do now is I look at all those 1-star reviews. So if I see that they respond to their 1-stars and they're very apologetic and they want to fix the solution, find a solution and fix the problem immediately, that's my company, because I know probably something bad is going to happen. Just I'll be that 1 out of 100 clients that the roof, you know, the ladder fell off the roof and there's someone stuck up, you know, it's on my roof for 5 hours. So with that being said, I can see how business owners respond to those 1-stars, and off of that, how they respond really makes a lot of difference in someone converting and actually using these clients. So the other fun part about this is every time you get those reviews, they can help with your social media. The more reviews you have, the more you can post these. These are great material because word of mouth is what is going to convert a lot of your clients as well. They want to know what other people's experience has been. So the more you promote these, the more it's basically giving you social proof and authority in your industry that people do believe in you. And also the more people see reviews, the more they kind of want to give you reviews as well. So it's a great feeding system to kind of get more with it. Other portions of it is make sure you add these reviews to your website. So if you get any reviews on your Google My Business page or on your Facebook page, copy and paste them and put them on your website and then put the name of the person who left it. So it's just more places that people can see it, even if it's on a different platform. And on that note, send people to the platforms that matter to you the most and really only send them to those. So for example, I'll be honest, Google My Business should be everybody's #1 platform, hands down. I'll let you fight with me over what #2 is. It could be Facebook, it could be LinkedIn, it could be health grades. It's whatever is really more probably industry and business related for you. But #1, hands down, for everyone in this room is your Google My Business needs to be the first place you're getting these reviews. They are growing as such a huge ranking factor for your local listings that you do not want to jeopardize that as all. So in a sense, I'm sure and just to clarify that, the local listings is, if you've ever seen that little map pop up and they list 3 businesses and you can see their reviews and their phone numbers, that's a local listing. And so a lot of times you'll only see businesses pop up in those who have more reviews and a higher star rating. So these things do go hand in hand. 1-stars are not bad. Obviously do not get enough to pull you down. I don't really want to drop below a 4.8. So trust me, we're going to treat every client perfectly to make sure we continue with the reputation we've built for ourselves. But even having that 1 star was not a bad thing to have happen to us, because A, we got another review, and B, it allowed us a chance to talk to a client through there, and talk to a prospect and really kind of address the situation. So even on our website, we push everybody to Google first. We also do Facebook, but that is hands down the #1 important place to send all of your reviews. As I said, it's a ranking factor. So if you want to show up when people are typing in your service in the city you're in, have as many reviews as humanly possible. But my caveat to this is, we have a service, we can help you with this, but if you're going to do it on your own, I'm more than happy to tell you how to do that. But only ask so many people at a time, because if you get 10 reviews in one day and then none the rest of the month, you might lose all those reviews because Google will think they're spam. So instead, we create a system and kind of ask only a few people each time. So therefore, you could get 1 a day for the whole month versus getting all in one and then kind of losing all those in the future as well. So I can't lie, this is my favorite thing. So it's kind of bread and butter what my company does. It's search engine optimization, SEO for short. I'm sure some of you all have heard of it. And so kind of a few things is, why SEO? I really don't talk about other ads on here versus just Facebook ads. The reason I talk about SEO is because SEO is basically investing money into your business that you get to use for all the future to come. And so what I mean by that is, sometimes we can have just billboards go up and they are great, but when you stop paying for a billboard, it does come down. So investing in things to go into your website, once you stop doing them, will actually allow them to stay. If you work with an agency versus doing yourself, there are a lot of things to kind of look for there. I'll be honest, it's very hard just to kind of learn yourself. We focus on education as a huge portion of our company to make sure we can get through everything. But if you are working with an agency, double check some of the things that you need to look through in your website. Make sure there's more content on your site and you have things like that to really kind of focus to make sure that you're getting the most out of your marketing. My third point, I'll track everything. So at the end of the day, if you don't know where your dollars are going and what's working and what's not working, then marketing isn't going to be beneficial for you. So you can track calls from your website, calls from your Google My Business, calls from ads, calls from Facebook, contact forms. You can track everything. So please do that so you know exactly where your money is going in the day. If you have enough content on your site, then there's other things you can do. You can actually, in a sense, build out more pages to really make sure that you have enough content. Google reads physical words on the site. So if you have enough, then Google can understand that what you do and the area you do it in is relevant to someone searching for that service in your area. So again, just like I talked about before, every service needs to have a page. If you like to write, then think of the top 10 questions you get asked every single time you pick up the phone and a new client's talking to you. What are those frequently asked questions? Write an answer for each of those, and that's a blog post. These are quick ways to kind of answer questions, get content, and you can repurpose these on your social media and other places as well. You could even do that quick video we talked about and answer that question on your social media. And the biggest thing, kind of as I said, that online reputation, it's all based on your Google My Business. So make sure, if there's one thing you do today, go and claim your Google My Business and start getting reviews on it, because you need to start that process immediately. Kind of the last thing that I have is more as long-term is really kind of building those repeat clients. So one of the ways I always suggest doing this is building that email list for your clients and your prospects. So because they've already bought from you, they're your ideal clients. So keep reaching out to them. If you have a service, as I said, that's repetitive, then you can offer basically giving them helpful tips and tricks to kind of help to keep them enticing with what you do. You also want to segment your audiences. So not everybody deserves the same message. In that sense, you can maybe break them down by what they bought, when they bought, what area they're in, and maybe what things affected them the most. You can segment them to really make your marketing message match as much as possible. And the fun thing as well is, if you have anything you can share with them that's helpful, that's what email marketing really should be for, is helping them at the end of the day. And obviously, if you have an offer or a sale, put that in the newsletter, but start it off with a resource. So have like a guide, a tip, a story, anything like that to really kind of help them out, because that's what builds your reputation as being an authority in this industry. And the fun part, if anyone here is in Louisville, is a big, small town. So you can be very well known here, but still feel like a small, fish in the pond. So things like this can really help you build your authority to stick out with those big guys in a sense. And my last thing, ask for reviews. So you can use these email marketing tips and tricks to ask for reviews, and really asking for those, kind of reminding them why they bought from you in the first place, can even help in a sense someone want to buy from you again because they remembered how fun and how helpful you were in that first place to them. And again, don't make them boring. Make them want to open them and keep them. So fun subject lines, anything fun inside of it. These are all things that you need kind of at the end of the day. So as I said, there are a few things we can do to keep them. Referrals, rewards, loyalty options. Help them with fun content. Make good things that they want to read. Not what you want to read, what they want to read, okay? Because this is targeting to them. One thing I really have built everything we do at my company is to basically under promise and over deliver every time. This is what really builds happy clients as well, is making sure you're going above and beyond for them anytime and everywhere you can in any situation. Stay positive. We can do this, okay? And that's all I have as far as short-term and long-term strategies. And I'll kind of hand it back to Sandy. We have some fun offers for you all today as well.
Brittany, I didn't think there were many people that talk faster than I do, but I think you beat me on that one. So thank you for all of that information. That was quite a bit of information. So I know some of you were taking notes and trying to pay attention, but if you really want to delve into this a little bit further, Brittany and I each have an offer for you. At ActionCOACH, we do offer a free coaching session or a strategy session for a small business owner. And if marketing is where you need to be focusing, that's something that we can talk about. It might be team building. It might be, I just don't know what to do. 2020's just not gone well. So please contact me. Be happy to set up a free strategy session. And the one thing we do at ActionCOACH is we coach individual businesses. So I'm not going to talk to you about something that the business next to you is interested in. I'm going to work with you on what you need for your business. So that is my offer to you today. If you're interested in a strategy session, I'd love to talk to you. Brittany, why don't you describe your offer?
Yes, perfect. So now that you spent your 16 minutes with Sandy and you have a better idea of what you need to be doing for your business and how to kind of work through the system to get out of this 2020 mess, what I offer everybody as well is a free 30-minute strategy session. So if anybody is now debating on what marketing they're doing currently or what they should be getting into next or what they should be halting potentially and switching, what I do is I help sit down with you. I understand everywhere what you're going on, what you're doing, and I'll give you some candid advice. I can also give you a strategy at the end of it if you kind of need help on doing some of these things, not yourself, but with someone else. But the biggest thing I want to make sure is everybody has as much education throughout this as possible, because I think the biggest thing Sandy and I understand as far as being business owners ourselves is you want to make sure your money is being spent well and in the right places. We unfortunately know it does not grow on trees. That was the one thing that did not pop up in 2020 was a money growing tree. Unfortunately, that would have been nice to come right after the murder hornets, but it hasn't. So what we help you do is really analyze everything that you're doing. And because of our experience and work with different clients, give you the solid advice you need to move forward. So that's what I offer as well, is the free strategy session for anybody with any marketing questions at all. And if it's not something I can personally help you with, I'm more than happy to pass you to one of my very trusted referral partners who might specialize in an expert part of the digital industry.
So we do have a question in the chat box from Tom. How important is good accounting to the efforts of coaches and of website designers? Good accounting is important for any business. Any and every business needs to watch the money and needs to be recording and reporting it. As Brittany mentioned, we want to test and measure everything. You don't know how much you can spend on marketing if you don't know what your cash flow is, if you don't know what your profitability is. So having a trusted partner, if accounting is not your thing, then hire a good CPA, an accounting firm. If SEO is not your thing, talk to Brittany. There's a reason we have referral partners, because as a business owner, you can't be an expert in everything. But I can't stress enough, know what you're doing with your money. Great question. Who's got another one?
I have a question, Sandy.
Yes.
a couple of our fellow power partners wanted to be on this call and were not, and I see that you're recording it. Is this something we'll be able to access later? And I apologize if you covered that at the beginning.
I did not, but the answer is yes, absolutely. This will be available for anyone who wasn't able to make it today. Thank you,
Awesome.
Beth.
Thank you.
Okay, so everybody has a to-do list, right? Google My Business page, look at your SEO, look at your message. Most importantly, make sure you have a message. Now is the time. The reason our company is ActionCOACH is we're always telling our business owners, take action. You can have a great plan, but it doesn't do you any good if you don't do anything with it. You've got to put it in place. So we've given you a lot of information, a lot of ideas. Just as a starting point, it's going to be up to you to decide what's important for you and your business. What is your message? You know, take a look at your website. If I go to a website and it says 2017 at the bottom, that's kind of a red flag for me. It's time to keep your message fresh. We are operating our businesses differently today. Your marketing should be reflected in that. So keep your website, your Facebook page, your LinkedIn, all of that, keep it updated. Get some fresh content in there. Don't be afraid to have a little bit of fun. You know, if you've got the most adorable pet in the world and you just want to say, I hope all my customers are having a good day from my Pomeranian, you know, have your dog wave. That's all okay to do. We need those positive messages. But most importantly, we need each of you and your businesses to thrive right now. That is how we're going to come out of this. That's how we are going to rebuild our community, is with small businesses. Brittany, do you have any closing remarks?
I just want to say thank you for everyone coming today. If you all have any questions, please, please, please reach out to us. We will be sending the video out to everyone who is attending so you all can forward to anyone who wasn't able to make it as well. But really, these offers are probably where you're going to get the most custom side of what you're looking to do as well. So as I said, we kind of gave a lot more of a blanket but solid ideas. But if you want to see how to put these ideas into action for your own business, that's kind of where we're really wanting to help you all as well, to make sure that this webinar can push through and actually turn into action versus, I know we all kind of get stuck in that paralysis of listening and watching a lot of videos and getting ideas, but at the end of the day, just like tracking all of your marketing, it doesn't matter unless you get started on doing all these things as well. So pick one thing at least to start on. We gave you quite a few action items. If you can't start with those three, then just pick one. Pick the one that's going to, you think, make the biggest bang for a buck right now, but make sure you're picking something that's towards the beginning of the sales cycle versus the end. So right, your logo doesn't matter as much as what you're posting about and what you're kind of doing there. So make sure the things that's going to help your customers help purchase from you before the end of the year, you focus on that as much as possible, because we are going into buying season. And I think that that's the biggest thing, is you want to make sure that what we do now is done before we get to November, December, and when it's a really crucial time, okay? So don't procrastinate.
Well, our hope was to give you a few minutes before your 1 o'clock Zoom call. So thank you for letting us go a little bit late. And please reach out to Brittany or I if you have any other questions, or just want to, you know, chat for a few minutes about what do you think about this, or what should I do next. That's what we do. That's what we're here for. But as Brittany said, thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope the rest of your day is full of sunshine and success.